So we're gonna start this episode off a little bit different. This is for just the girls. I wanna talk to the girl that feels like every time she walks by a window, a mirror, or anything that she could see her reflection in, that she has to check her body, that she has to check how she looks, because I know that there's something underneath that. We a lot of times get told that we look in the mirror because we're just trying to see how we look, check ourselves out, but if we're being honest, which we are, it stems from insecurity and doubt in ourselves and a lack of confidence. I know because I struggle with it all the time, and for many years in the dance world and just being in this generation, it can be a lot. Feeling like the smallest version of you is the best version of you, feeling like if you don't have curves in a certain place, you're not feminine, feeling like if you're too loud, then you're obnoxious. If you're too quiet, then you're just a shy one. And just feels like no matter what we do, it's never enough. But what I do know is that God created us in His perfect image, and every freckle, every dimple, everything that you have, every way that you laugh, every way that you smile was with intention, and He created you with purpose. And if you have a pulse, you have a purpose. And it's just, I don't ever want anybody that's growing up in this generation to feel like they have to adjust how they look to fit the social norms. I think break the social norms, dress how you feel comfortable. Don't feel like you have to dress for anyone or anything. Dress in a way that makes you feel comfortable and confident and secure in yourself, and just let go of the standards that this society has put on us. The smallest version of you is not the best version of you. The strongest version of you is not determined because if you have muscle or if you don't have muscle, none of that matters. What matters is your heart and your intention and the way that you radiate the light that's within you out into the world, because I know for a fact that each person was created with a light within them that is meant to be seen by so many people. And it took me a long time to learn this lesson, and I just want to keep pressing that into people, because I feel a lot of times us girls, we feel it. We hear influencers talk about it, our parents will tell us, but it sometimes just doesn't sink in. It takes us looking at ourselves one day in the mirror and just saying, you know what, this is how I am, this is who I am. I was created with a purpose, on purpose, and just fully accepting that you are who you are. And yes, there's still so much to learn from and still so much to grow, and there's so much room for us to continue to just experience life. We have so much within us and so much ability that is placed within us, and if we just tap into that and just let go of worrying if we're enough, if we're too loud, if we're too this, too that, and just allow ourselves to make mistakes, allow yourself to fail at something and to try something new, it's gonna be a whole different experience. So to the girl that feels that she's not enough, that she's incapable, that her body determines her value, that's all a lie. You are enough because God is enough, and you are enough because you are made in His image. And it took me a long time to learn that, but I hope this message can touch at least one person. So we're gonna talk to the girl that feels like she doesn't have a voice. So if someone came up to you and they said that they struggle trying to express themselves, trying to get their point across, what advice would you give them?
I would tell them that you should never feel shy or never feel like you don't have a voice or feel like you shouldn't be talking. Like, you always have room to talk and room to say things, room to ask questions. There's always things that you could learn from asking questions that you could possibly hold yourself back from learning if you don't just speak up, or other people could learn from you speaking up and from what you have to say. And basically, there's no room in your life to feel like you're holding back because you're too scared. You have to be bigger than that and know that what you're saying to you is important.
Yeah, that's
And
true.
it's going to be important to other people. It might not be important to everybody, or everybody might not understand, or whatever, but there's always, your point is always going to be important to you and the people that care about you, and yeah.
I think what's really important, especially with the point that you were talking about, that like to speak up and ask questions, and some people might be afraid to ask a question. I think what's a great like way that she was wording that was, your question that you want to ask, there's probably another 3 or 5, 10, 15 people that want to ask the same question but might not have the courage to. So if you're feeling like, oh man, I don't know if I should ask the question, I don't know if I can ask the question, I think sometimes just posturing yourself in a position of, you know what, I'm curious and my curiosity is a gift and I want to learn and I want to press in, you'll be able to see how many people around you are like, oh my God, I was going to say that.
No,
oh my gosh,
yeah.
I have that same question.
No, all the time. You're always like, I feel like I'm always the person in the room that is like, oh, I'm asking the question for everybody.
Yeah,
like
it's
everybody
true.
wants to know.
It's true.
So, yeah, you never have to be afraid or feel like others aren't going to understand, because 9 times out of 10 there's another person in the room that has the same exact question as you that's like too scared to speak up, and then like next time you being able to speak up and ask that question that they were too scared to ask can give them the confidence to be able to realize that their question is valid, and go ahead and next time that they have a question, not be afraid to go and ask it.
Yeah, it's true. Confidence rubs off on people, and the courage that, just that simple act of courage that we take can just be a catalyst for somebody else to have that courage too, and it's incredible.
Yeah, exactly.
We're gonna talk to the girl that feels like she's not enough. So if somebody came to you seeking advice saying, Kaylin, I feel like I'm not enough, I feel like what I do is never enough, I just can't get a grip, I don't know, I just feel like nothing I do is worthy or worth it, and I'm not worth it, what's some advice you would give to them?
Some advice I would give to them is that you could be the full package at the wrong address. It might not be you that's the issue, it might be your surroundings. So follow your heart, follow where it takes you, and then you'll eventually find your way home.
It's true. I think a lot of times, sometimes we feel like the environment, or not even our environment, that we feel like the issue is us. And there are going to be times where it is us and we need to learn and we need to grow, and there's things that we need to work on as individuals. But sometimes you have to check your surroundings, see what you're surrounding yourself with. Are the people around you people that are pushing you to grow? Are they people that are pulling you back to things you want to get, like, be set free from? So I think it's a really good point that you were talking about there. So I guess my question would be, what are some practical steps that you think somebody could take to maybe change their surroundings? Because I think a lot of times people feel tied, or they feel like they have to be loyal to the people around them, but even if they know that the people around them are maybe not the people that are for them. So what's some advice you would give, or maybe some practical steps that you can offer to them?
Well, if you find yourself constantly stuck in the same situations that you're unhappy with, you need to take some kind of avenue to leave that space. It's not going to be the easiest. It might be with the place that you hang out after work. The place that you work at, it might be your family home, but you could still find your way out of that space to find a place where it's not a constant battle with yourself and the people around you.
And it could be really difficult, especially when it's your own like family dynamic. It could be really difficult to feel like you're able to leave that space. But I did have a mentor. She wasn't talking to me directly, but she was talking to a friend of ours, and our friend was struggling with trying to leave that specific home environment that she didn't feel was a safe home environment for her. And the advice that was given to her was just sometimes even going for a walk, going to run an errand, getting out of the house to go study at a different environment, to go volunteer somewhere, just getting out of that space and surrounding yourself with people who are gonna push you, who are gonna nurture you and challenge you, can really help. Because we know that sometimes we can't change our family dynamic, but we can change our environment. And sometimes it's as simple as just stepping outside and just going for a walk. So we're gonna talk to the moms that feel maybe they're not doing enough, the moms that feel like they're trying to juggle too many things, the moms that feel like they wanna do it all, but they're struggling. So you, being a mom, me and my sister's mom, what's some advice you would give to other moms out there that maybe feel like they're just so overwhelmed with trying to balance it all, being a wife, being a mother, being a daughter. How would you?
I would say the biggest advice I could give you is to give yourself a break. You're wonderful just as you are. Everybody has their own set of rules, values, what they feel is important. But at the end of the day, 80% of what you feel is important really isn't. The most important thing is spending time with your kids, spending time with your family, enjoying those moments and being present. I know for me, I struggled a lot with multitasking. It's still a work in progress where I have my mom, I have you guys, family, businesses, all these things going on, and you lose the being present for the moment. So on vacations, on outings to eat, you kind of lose yourself in that because you're thinking of your to-do list, the groceries, where you got to be, who you got to take where, and you begin to lose yourself over the years. And then when your kids get older, that they don't need you as much, you begin to kind of find yourself a little bit again, and then you're lost. It becomes that gray area where you're just lost and are like, well, what happened to me? I used to love to go out and eat and dance and go on little mini vacations, and I haven't done that for 10 years. So I think that's very important for you to stay solid as a person, and in order for you to be able to give to your kids, your parents, your husband, your pets, your work environment, because when you lose yourself, it takes a really long time to reel you back. So I would say get your nails done, go to the spa, go take yourself out on a date, to go eat your favorite food, go out with your friends to have a drink or to have something, to talk about something, anything that's not just your home, not just the things that you're responsible for. Be you, be who you were at least a few hours out of the month, because we've all been there. This world is a crazy life, and there's so many things to do every day that you run out of time. And time is probably the most important thing we have.
So this is a message for the girl that feels either unloved or unwanted. And I know we both have experience in this, so what's some advice you would give to that girl?
I would tell her that she's loved by somebody who may not even be here in person physically, but to a girl who feels unloved, like you're loved by the Most High God. And He is like the King of Kings, He is the Lord of Lords, and He loves you, and He He praises and has joy in knowing that you're His child, you're His daughter. So just knowing that no matter what, like if you feel like you aren't loved or unwanted or you feel alone, like just knowing that you can look literally right beside you and the Lord is right there, and even if He's not physically present, like He's there in your soul and your spirit, and because we believe that we're spirit beings, right? So just being able to be like, you know what, like even if I'm alone, I'm in a place where there's no one around me, or even if I'm in a place where there's thousands of people, and you could be in a room where there's thousands of people and still feel like you're alone and you're singled out, and so just knowing that like you can look to your left and to your right and just know, man, like I know that the Lord is sitting right there with me, and just kind of like holding my hand and just saying like you're loved and you're appreciated, and what you do is important, and you being in this world and the breath in your lungs is important, and you have value. I think that there's a lot of girls in this generation that feel like they have no value, that they're just kind of here, they post on social media and they get this amount of likes or they get this amount of followers, and that's just what they are. But I believe that like there's women and there's daughters out there that like have a bigger purpose in life. So just knowing that they're loved by someone that is like at the top is just so important and so special. And just having that as like a reminder, of just being like, hey, I'm loved by somebody higher than you, So anytime that you feel threatened or you feel like, oh man, like I don't feel loved by this person, like you can literally turn around and be like, it's okay, because I got the Lord, I am loved by somebody who will never not love me, so it's somebody who gives unconditional love, and I think that's
it's a love that we don't have to earn. It's just so pure,
right? And I love it because people will give you conditional love.
Yeah.
There will never be a person on this earth that will give you unconditional love like the Lord gives.
Yeah.
So just knowing that, like, we're on that list of people that have that unconditional love, I think is so special.
It
So,
is,
yeah.
So, to the girl that feels she has to have it all together, know that you're never going to have it all figured out. You're never going to have all the answers. But there is a God that has everything planned out to the T. Every moment, every experience, every breath, He knows, and you're never alone. Everything has a purpose, and things that were meant to hurt you, things that were meant to break you, He will bring strength through. He will bring comfort in. And I just want to remind that girl that feels like I have no purpose, that feels I'm broken, that feels so lonely, that you're never alone. And there are girls that want to stand with you shoulder to shoulder, to be your shoulder to cry on, to just love on you and just remind you that you're loved. So if you haven't heard it in a while, or you feel that you need a reminder, you're loved and you're worthy and you're worth it and you're beautiful inside and out. And if you need to play this one part over and over again so you could fully believe it, put it on repeat. But so remember that you're loved, and yeah, see you next week. I feel like I went cross-eyed at the end, so you just got. Hey. Let's readjust my ponytail. PSA. And that's the reality of it, okay?
Right.
Yes. Business up top, comfort at the bottom, because let's be honest, you're not going to see it. So,
Right.
unless I just showed it to you. And I like my pants, Fabletics, guys. It's a steal.
You
Alex,
didn't even